The phrase, "if the truth shall kill them, let them die," invites us to confront truth with a stark and unflinching honesty. It suggests that truth, with all its complexities, should never be compromised for the sake of comfort or stability. Instead, we must be willing to let illusions, false beliefs, and unsound structures dissolve if they cannot withstand the light of truth. But what does this really mean? And why does truth possess such power and importance? To understand the full depth of this statement, let us begin by examining what we mean by truth. In its simplest form, truth is the alignment between belief and reality, between what is claimed and what actually exists. Truth does not bend to personal opinions, desires, or societal pressures. It is objective, unwavering, and universal. It applies equally to all, whether we accept it or deny it. Unlike preferences or opinions, truth remains independent of human perception. It exists on its own terms, with no need for approval or validation. And yet, humans have an often ambivalent relationship with truth. On one hand, we are drawn to it. We seek it in our sciences, philosophies, and religions. We rely on it to understand the universe, cure diseases, and create social systems that uphold justice and equity. On the other hand, truth can be uncomfortable, even terrifying, because it often requires us to challenge our most cherished beliefs, question our assumptions, and confront our own limitations. Truth can dismantle illusions that we hold dear and demand changes that are difficult to make. The phrase, "if the truth shall kill them, let them die," encapsulates this tension. It is a call to courage, urging us not to shield ourselves from reality simply because it might be painful or disruptive. When we cling to illusions, whether they are personal, cultural, or institutional, we create a world built on sand. Such a world may provide temporary comfort, but it is inherently unstable, prone to collapse under the weight of reality. This phrase is a reminder that integrity and authenticity demand that we prioritize truth, even when it is difficult, over the comfort of illusion. Let us take a historical perspective to see this principle in action. Throughout history, societies have often clung to beliefs and practices that served the interests of a few but were based on lies or unjust assumptions. Consider the institution of slavery. For centuries, it was justified by myths about racial superiority, and the natural order of these ideas provided a convenient justification for exploitation and oppression. But they were profoundly false. It took the courage of abolitionists, civil rights leaders, and countless others to confront this lie, to insist on the truth of human equality and dignity. That truth was not easily accepted. It faced resistance, backlash, and even violent opposition. But ultimately, it was necessary to dismantle the structures that relied on the lie of racial hierarchy. The truth, though painful and disruptive, paved the way for a more just and humane society. The history of science offers similar examples. Galileo Galilei, the Italian astronomer, famously insisted that the earth revolved around the sun. His assertion challenged the prevailing belief that the earth was the center of the universe, a belief upheld not only by tradition, but by religious institutions with enormous authority. Galileo's truth was not welcome. In fact, it was seen as heretical. Yet over time, the truth of heliocentrism was accepted because it was based on observable reality. The initial resistance was intense because people were deeply attached to a worldview that gave them a comforting sense of place in the universe. But holding on to that illusion would have kept humanity from advancing in its understanding of the cosmos. By embracing the truth, even when it disrupted deeply held beliefs, society eventually opened itself up to scientific progress. These examples illustrate that truth, even when it is initially destructive, ultimately serves as a foundation for growth and progress. When we allow falsehoods to die in the face of truth, we make way for more accurate, just and sustainable systems. But what happens when we refuse to let go of illusions? When societies or individuals cling to lies, they stagnate. Denial of truth leads to the buildup of unresolved problems, injustices, and grievances. It creates a facade of stability, but underneath lies a foundation prone to collapse. History shows us that when societies refuse to confront their lies, they ultimately face upheaval and crisis. This concept applies not only on a societal level, but on a deeply personal level as well. How often do we hold on to illusions about ourselves, our relationships, or our circumstances? We may choose to ignore uncomfortable truths because they threaten the way we see ourselves or the life we have built. Perhaps we deny that a relationship is unhealthy, or that our career path no longer aligns with our values. We may even lie to ourselves about our own capabilities, downplaying our strengths or ignoring our weaknesses. But these self-deceptions, while comforting in the short term, ultimately prevent growth. Personal development requires us to face the truth about who we are, our strengths, our flaws, our aspirations, and our limitations. Only by acknowledging these truths can we begin to change, to grow, and to live authentically. To allow illusions to die in our personal lives requires courage and humility. It means accepting that we do not have all the answers, that we are imperfect, and that there is always room for improvement. It can be painful to face the truth, especially if it reveals mistakes, missed opportunities, or regrets. But by allowing these illusions to fall away, we create space for genuine growth and self-discovery. We give ourselves the opportunity to build lives that are grounded in reality rather than fantasy. In our modern world, the principle of if the truth shall kill them, let them die is more relevant than ever. We live in an era of information overload where misinformation, conspiracy theories, and alternative facts can spread at an unprecedented speed. Social media and the internet have created echo chambers where people can reinforce their beliefs regardless of whether they are true or not. This environment poses a serious threat to our ability to discern reality from illusion. When falsehoods go unchallenged, they gain power, they create division, fuel conflicts, and undermine the trust that is essential for a functioning society. In such a climate, the commitment meant to truth becomes a revolutionary act. It requires us to resist the comfort of confirmation bias and to seek out information that challenges rather than reinforces our beliefs. The phrase, if the truth shall kill them, let them die, thus serves as a reminder that truth-telling is not simply about seeking facts, it is about creating a foundation for integrity, responsibility, and accountability. When we face truth, we can take responsibility for our actions, address injustices, and correct mistakes. Truth provides the foundation for justice, fairness, and the rule of law. Without it, these principles become hollow, subject to manipulation and exploitation. Ultimately, the phrase, if the truth shall kill them, let them die, calls on us to have faith in the resilience of truth. It invites us to believe that while truth may be painful, it is also liberating. When we embrace truth, we free ourselves from the chains of illusion. We allow ourselves to live authentically, to connect genuinely, and to build societies that are just and sustainable. We must remember that truth is not a luxury or a preference, it is a necessity. Without it, we are left with a world built on sand, prone to crumble at the first sign of stress. In conclusion, the phrase, if the truth shall kill them, let them die, serves as a powerful reminder of the essential role that truth plays in all aspects of our lives, from personal growth to societal progress. It challenges us to consider that truth, although sometimes painful or unsettling, is not something to be feared or avoided. Rather, truth is something to be embraced with courage, even when it threatens to disrupt or dismantle long-held beliefs, traditions, or relationships. This principle calls on us to choose authenticity over comfort, to stand firm in the face of reality, rather than retreat into the safety of illusion. When we allow ourselves to embrace truth, We create a foundation that can endure. We move beyond the superficial, letting go of beliefs or systems that are unsustainable, unjust, or no longer relevant. Though this process may lead to loss or change, it is a necessary sacrifice to ensure growth, integrity, and resilience. Just as a building cannot stand on a weak foundation, neither can individuals, relationships, or societies thrive if they are built on falsehoods. Accepting the collapse of illusions clears the way for structures, beliefs, and connections that are genuine, grounded in reality, and capable of withstanding the test of time and adversity. On a societal level, this commitment to truth is crucial for justice, equality, and progress. History has shown that societies thrive not when they cling to comforting lies, but when they are willing to confront difficult truths, even at great cost. By facing the truths, societies can address injustices, correct their course, and create more equitable systems. Whether it is acknowledging historical wrongs, tackling social inequalities, or confronting environmental challenges, embracing truth allows for healing, reconciliation, and sustainable development. Truth empowers societies to address problems head-on, to make changes that may be difficult in the short term, but are ultimately necessary for long-term prosperity and peace. In our personal lives, this commitment to truth is equally transformative. Facing the truth about ourselves, our strengths, our limitations, our past mistakes requires humility and bravery. It challenges us to look inwards, to confront the areas where we may have been dishonest with ourselves or others, and to grow from those realizations. By letting go of illusions about who we are or who we think we should be, we open ourselves to authenticity, growth, and self-acceptance. This willingness to confront our own truths fosters resilience, self-awareness, and a deeper sense of purpose. When we are honest with ourselves, we make decisions that align more closely with our true values and aspirations, allowing us to lead lives that are meaningful and fulfilling. In our relationships, too, truth is foundational. Relationships built on honesty and trust are resilient. They can weather conflicts, misunderstandings, and challenges. When we prioritize truth in our interactions, we respect and honor those we care about by showing them who we genuinely are. Truth in relationships fosters intimacy and mutual respect, creating bonds that are both deep and lasting. Conversely, relationships that rely on deception, secrecy, or denial may feel comfortable in the short term, but are ultimately fragile. By embracing truth, we build connections that are genuine, fulfilling, and capable of growing over time. In an age where misinformation is widespread, where truth is sometimes dismissed as subjective or irrelevant, this principle is more important than ever. The phrase, "If the truth shall kill them, let them die," reminds us that truth is not optional. It is the cornerstone of a healthy, functioning society, the foundation of justice, and the bedrock of genuine relationships and self-discovery. To choose truth is to choose integrity, responsibility, and accountability. When we are willing to face truth, we protect ourselves from manipulation, prevent the spread of harm, and uphold the values that allow us to thrive as individuals and as a community. Ultimately, this phrase invites us to trust in the resilience of truth. Although it may challenge us, unsettle us, or even cause upheaval, truth is also a liberating force that frees us from the chains of illusion. It enables us to live authentically, to make meaningful choices, and to build lives, relationships, and societies that are grounded, resilient, and capable of enduring. When we have the courage to confront and accept truth, we create a future based on reality rather than fantasy, on strength rather than fragility. We allow ourselves to grow, adapt, and evolve in ways that align with our highest ideals. Let us therefore commit to a life of truth. Let us cultivate the courage to face reality, the humility to acknowledge our mistakes, and the resilience to rebuild when illusions fall away. Let us value truth as the guiding force that empowers us to grow, to connect, and to make a meaningful impact on the world around us. In doing so, we honor the deepest potential of our humanity and set the stage for a future that reflects our best selves. Let us choose truth, knowing that in its light we find the strength, the wisdom, and the hope to create a better world. Thank you.